How about a blowjob?
The last place in the world to leave a bottle is a beach.
I don't think we should go over to metric. I'm quite happy with the weights and measures we use today, the ones we're familiar with.
I don't think this is gonna work out. Pretty deep. There's no way. That's it. Cooper. Okay. We gotta turn around.
But how familiar are they? How many yards are there in a furlong? How many firkins in a hogshead? How many square yards in an acre? How many grains in an ounce? In fact, the majority of our traditional measures aren't really very familiar at all, while metric measures, sometimes feared as being newfangled, we're already using. A spoonful of medicine, for example, equals 5 milliliters.
Mrs. Martin?
Oh, thank you.
Your address, dear?
6 Heatherwood.
Right, thank you very much.
It can't be claimed that going metric makes it any more palatable.
Oh, it's lovely.
Come on.
Right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Electrical goods are rated in metric.
Now, we're on 240 volts, and we've got power plugs on a ring main system. Would that be all right with this fire?
Yes, that will be
Yes.
all right. It is a 2-kilowatt fire.
Yes.
Which means that you must have a 13-amp fuse in your plug top.
I see. That's those little ones that fit in the plug separately.
That's the one.
Oh, fine. Well, that's grand. Thank you very much indeed.
Film sizes are gauged in metric.
Please. And an 8mm film for the cine camera.
Cassettes now?
Yes, please.
2 35mm colour films and 1 8mm cassette.
That's great, thank you.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
Sorry, madam.
Motor car engines are classified in litres, a metric measure.
2 litres. Yes, I was thinking of something rather bigger. You see, I do a fair amount of long-distance travelling. We do a 3.5, a large saloon car. How big is the... 6.25, sir. I was referring to the ashtray.
Centimetres are for measuring things like clothes, curtains and materials. A girl's vital statistics could now be 90, 60, 90.
Think metric. 90, 60, 90 refers to centimetres. Thinking metric certainly has its advantages.
Having the nerve to ask such a question? $12 bottle of wine.
Are you crazy? My parents might see.
Come on, who's gonna see us at this hour? I'll return the favor.
Wait, can you imagine if we got caught? Oh my God, what my dad would do to you.
There's nobody around. Everybody's asleep.
No way, it's way too risky.
Please. I love you so much.
Actually using a line like that? Another $12 bottle of wine.
I just can't.
Please?
Dad says to go ahead and give him a blowjob. Or I can do it. Or if need be, he'll come down himself and do it. But for God's sake, tell him to take his hand off the intercom.
Having a girlfriend whose father has a sense of humor? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you?
Action.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Well, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
Archery is all about form, focus, and technique. Competitors stand over 200 feet away from the target, aiming for a bullseye no more than 5 inches in diameter. To stay on target, archers must resist the natural impulse to turn around and fire arrows at everyone in the spectator gallery. But how do they do it? We constructed a replica archery range, where an archer will attempt to shoot 10 arrows at the target while trying to avoid purposefully firing at the 5 dummies positioned in the stands. And that archer is former World Archery Federation champion Sarah Vogel. Using eye-tracking technology, we will see the range from Sarah's perspective. When holding a bow, a person's peripheral vision immediately identifies any crowds within their field of view. The brain then sends neural signals that cause the hips to turn, the arms to readjust position, and the fingers to release the bowstring, firing an arrow into the densest part of the crowd. At this point, the pupils dilate as the archer looks to pick off the slowest people attempting to run away. But in the brain of an experienced archer like Sarah, thousands of hours of practice have created neural pathways that allow her to keep her hands steady and refrain from moving the bow 40 degrees to where the spectators are sitting. Even when we upped the challenge by placing an additional 5 dummies in the stands, Sarah still managed to aim for the target an amazing 9 out of 10 times. Though on her final attempt, she shot an arrow right into the front row of the gallery, which just goes to show that even the pros aren't perfect.
Damn it!
So walk me through how you stay so composed, even when there are hundreds of spectators you could aim at.
Well, when I first started out, I was always shooting at concession stands or referees. Now I just get into the zone and I don't even think about shooting arrows into the parking lot.
Arrows fired from a bow can travel speeds of up to 300 miles per hour. With that much force, archers also have to suppress the urge to fire at any 2 spectators standing close enough together that a single arrow could go through both of their chests.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side?
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide.
So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers,
the dreamers, and me. All of us find its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Somebody just thought of that, and someone believed it. And look what it's done so far. I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
This has been a 2023 Hungry Terrier cat sitting production.